We're about to break down a kind of fraud that doesn't just steal your data, it steals who you are online. And this isn't about some hacker guessing your super complex password, not at all. This is a systemic attack, one that takes your strongest defenses and actually turns them against you. So we're going to do a full forensic breakdown of how it works, dig into the psychology that makes it so scarily effective, and, most importantly, give you the precise, actionable strategy to build a fortress against it.
The most chilling truth about account takeover fraud is that the criminal doesn't need to guess your password. They only need to convince the system that they are you. Just let that sink in for a second. All the effort we put into those long, complicated passwords with symbols and numbers, it can all become completely worthless in an instant. See, this attack doesn't go after your secrets. It targets something much more fundamental: the trust that's built right into the systems designed to help us.
And this leads us to this really unsettling idea: the verification paradox. This is a world where criminals aren't trying to smash down digital walls with brute force. No, they're being handed the keys to the front door. They're using the exact same recovery tools that were made for us, for when we get locked out. They're exploiting the human element of trust, not just some loophole in the code.
Just think about every single forgot password link you've ever clicked. That feature is an absolute lifeline for us, right? It's a tool of convenience in a world where we're juggling dozens, maybe hundreds of passwords. But to a criminal, that same feature is a wide open door. They don't need to spend months trying to crack your password if they can just take control of the place where that reset link gets sent. The entire attack, from A to Z, is about compromising that single recovery channel. All right, to really get this, we need a roadmap. First, we're going to pinpoint the main target and exactly why it's so valuable: your phone. Next, we'll walk through the criminal's playbook, step by step. Then we'll get into the psychology of why this works so well. And from there, we get to the most important part: building your digital fortress with concrete actions. We'll wrap it all up with a simple, protective mantra to lock in your security strategy.
Okay, let's start with this central vulnerability in this whole system: your phone number. It isn't just for calls anymore. Over the last decade, it has quietly morphed into something else entirely. In our digital world, it's become the master key to your entire life. It is the one single piece of information that ties everything else together, acting as the ultimate proof of identity for almost every important service you use. And wow, when you see it laid out like this, you really grasp the immense power packed into that 10-digit number. Password reset links for your bank, your email, they get sent there. Those two-factor authentication codes that are supposed to be your digital shield, they arrive on your phone. Critical alerts from your bank, sent to your phone. If you have any crypto, that number is the final gateway to your assets. And here's the kicker: it's the key to your master email account, the one account that can reset all the others. Whoever controls your phone number controls the absolute linchpin of your entire digital existence. So how in the world do criminals get their hands on this master key? They use an attack called SIM swap fraud. The concept is actually deceptively simple. The criminal gets a hold of bits of your personal info from the dark web, then they call your mobile provider. They pretend to be you, they sound calm, convincing, and they trick a customer service rep into transferring your phone number to a brand new SIM card, a SIM card that the criminal is holding in their hand. The second that transfer goes through, your phone goes dead, and theirs lights up with your identity.
Okay, so let's see how this one single action kicks off the entire attack. This isn't just random chaos. It's a methodical, repeatable process. It's a blueprint that criminals follow to systematically dismantle someone's financial life, and they can often do it in less than an hour. The whole system really operates in 3 clear stages. Stage 1 is data acquisition. These guys aren't guessing your personal details. They're buying them off marketplaces on the dark web. Your name, address, date of birth, old passwords, all collected from countless data breaches. Stage 2 is identity seizure. This is where they weaponize that data, call your mobile carrier, and use it to sound legit enough to pull off the SIM swap. This is the pivot point. And finally, Stage 3, asset extraction. With your phone number under their control, it's a frantic race against time to get into and drain every financial account you have.
And let's be absolutely crystal clear about this. The critical vulnerability that makes this whole thing possible is not a piece of software. It's not a flawed algorithm. The weakest link in this chain is almost always a human being. The success of the SIM swap depends entirely on a criminal's ability to socially engineer a customer service representative, someone who is often overworked, underpaid, and trained to be helpful and to resolve calls quickly. The criminal uses your stolen data to sound like they know what they're talking about, and they exploit that fundamental human desire to provide good service.
This is the crucial moment. The second that carrier agent hits confirm, control is gone.
The victim's phone just suddenly loses its connection. The signal bars vanish. It just says, "No service." And at that exact same moment, maybe thousands of miles away, the criminal's phone lights up. They now get all your calls and, way more importantly, all of your text messages, including every single security code and password reset link that you rely on.
And this is how our own security gets turned completely upside down. Multi-factor authentication, MFA, is supposed to be our shield, right? It's that 6-digit code sent to your phone to prove you're you. But after a SIM swap, that shield is handed directly to the attacker. The code is still sent out by the bank, but now it's delivered to the criminal's phone. It becomes the very key they use to walk right through the front door of your accounts.
Here is where the manipulation flips. The security measure becomes the weapon. Every single forgot password request, every login that triggers a verification code now works for the criminal. They are using your banks, your email providers, your crypto exchanges' own security systems against you. The very tools designed to keep them out are now actively helping them get in, because the system has been fundamentally tricked into believing the bad guy is you.
Okay, so the criminal's #1 goal, right after the SIM swap, is to take over your master email account. Why email? Because it's the central hub of your entire digital life. I mean, think about it. Your bank, your brokerage, social media, it's all tied to that one email address. So they go to your email login, they hit forgot password, and they get the reset link sent to the phone they now control. They change your password, and just like that, you're locked out. Once they have your email, they have the keys to everything.
And this is the psychological choke point. The criminal is now in a desperate race against the clock. They know they've only got a small window, maybe an hour, maybe less, before you realize your phone service is dead and you start trying to get help. And during this golden hour, you are completely isolated, probably have no idea that a digital firestorm is consuming your life. Meanwhile, the attacker is methodically changing passwords, adding new payees, initiating wire transfers, working as fast as they possibly can to extract every last cent.
So we've seen how the attack works, step by step. But now we need to look at why it's so devastatingly effective. Because this isn't just about a technology failure, it's about the deep psychological vulnerabilities that exist in our systems, in other people, and in ourselves.
The attack's success really hinges on 4 key psychological levers. First, there's authority bias. When the criminal calls the carrier, they speak with total confidence. They have your real data, so they don't sound like a scammer. They sound like you, making the agent way more likely to help. Second is cognitive overload. Once the attack starts, you might get a sudden flood of password change alerts from Google, your bank, whatever. The storm of notifications is designed to confuse and overwhelm you, making it almost impossible to think clearly. Third, the isolation effect. The moment your phone dies, you are cut off from your main line to the outside world, right when you need it most. And finally, there's the learned trust habit. We have all been trained for years by every major company to see our phone as a secure authenticator. This attack shatters that trust.
All right, we have torn this attack apart. Now for the most important part, the defense. We're moving from analysis to action. This is not about being scared, it's about being empowered. We're going to build a digital fortress using clear, non-negotiable defensive steps that you can take literally right after this.
There are 2 absolutely critical locks you need to put in place. First, and this is the most important thing you can do today, call your mobile phone carrier and ask them to add a port-out PIN or a high-security password to your account. This is a separate verbal-only code that someone must provide before any major changes, especially a SIM swap, can happen. This one action stops the social engineering attack cold. Second, for your most critical accounts, your main email, your bank, your financial platforms, you need to switch from SMS-based 2-factor authentication to a hardware security key.
And this right here shows the fundamental difference. Weak MFA, like a code sent by text, relies on a channel, the phone network, that can be hijacked. But strong MFA, like a hardware key, is completely different. It's a small physical device, kind of like a USB stick, that you own. To log into a protected account, you have to physically plug it into your computer and touch it. There's no code to intercept. A criminal halfway across the world can't SIM swap their way to your key. They'd have to physically steal it from you, which makes it infinitely more secure.
Besides defense, you have to know how to spot an attack in progress. These are the 3 red flags you can never, ever ignore. The most urgent one is number 1. Your phone suddenly and completely loses all service for no reason. This is not a normal network outage. We're talking a total immediate cutoff. This is the biggest sign of a successful SIM swap. If this happens, you have to act fast. Use someone else's phone or a computer on Wi-Fi and contact your carrier immediately. The other alerts, a sudden storm of password change emails or mail for accounts you don't recognize, are also signs your identity is in trouble.
Okay, let's boil everything we've learned down to a single core idea. This is the mindset you need to have to stay safe in a world where identity verification itself can be turned into a weapon.
Your identity is only as secure as the weakest link in your verification chain. It doesn't matter if you have a 100-character password if your account recovery method is a phone number that can be stolen with a 5-minute phone call. Your security isn't defined by your strongest defense. It's defined by your most vulnerable point of failure. You have to find that weakest link and you have to harden it.
And that brings us to our final protective mantra. This is the key takeaway. Lock your phone account with a verbal PIN from your carrier, making it tough for social engineers. Use a hardware key for your most important accounts, taking the phone out of the equation completely. And never use easily guessable shared secrets, like your mother's maiden name or your first pet, as security questions. By hardening these weak links, you fundamentally break the criminal's playbook, and you take back absolute control of your digital identity.